Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So over on my Instagram I asked you guys if you wanted to see a more in-depth tutorial on this makeup look. So it's a pink cut crease and you guys highly requested it, so here we are. I'm going to show you a more in-depth version. As you can imagine, on Instagram the videos are only 60 seconds, so I do have to cut out a lot of footage. So here it is, or here, and I'm going to talk you through. PS, don't mind the audio. I'm using my Apple headphones, so we're going back to basics because my other microphone isn't working. So yeah, hopefully the audio is not too bad and dreadful to watch. So let's get straight into it. Sit back and relax, and I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. So I just have cleansed my face. I'm now applying my B3 serum just with my hands because I feel like the warmth of your hands really buffs the product into your skin. And I'm also applying the Too Faced Hangover Primer, and I feel like this primer is amazing. It has like a bit of like a tacky consistency, so your base will be stuck in place all day. We're now brushing our brow hairs up just with any type of spoolie, then going in with the P. Louise base in the shade Vanuatu with a Breanah E1 brush. So we're going to carve out the bottom of the brow and then drag the rest of the product down towards our upper lash line, and this is going to be our base for our eyeshadow product. After we've applied it with the Breanah E1 brush, we're going to go in with the Breanah F5 brush and just really press that product into the skin. And you don't need to set this base with a powder, you just let it dry on its own and it's amazing. If you don't have the P. Louise base, I definitely recommend it. So the eyeshadow palette we are using today is the Secret Sinner palette by P. Louise. So the first shade we're going to be using is Love Shy, and we're going to be using the Morphe 506 brush, and with this first shade we're going to really carve out the shape of our eyeshadow. So we're going to pack that on. As you can see, I'm using kind of like circular motions to really pack that on but kind of buff it in at the same time. And as you can see, I'm creating a more rounded eyeshadow look. And we're now taking the Morphe E18 brush with no product on it, and we're just taking that on the outer edge of that first shade we laid down. That way when we apply our second shade, it goes on nice and seamlessly and both colors blend together. New Morphe 506 brush, we're going in with the shade In Lust, which is this nice pinky shade, and we're just buffing that into the first shade we applied in kind of like circular motions. So now that we have finished applying that second shade onto the outer edge of that first shade, we're going back in with the Morphe E18 brush to diffuse the outer edge of this pink shade. I'm sorry if this is a bit confusing, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So now going back in with a little bit of In Lust on our Morphe 506 brush, we're going to re-intensify the pink and then buff that out again with the E18. So we're now taking a Morphe 562 brush with the shade S&M, and we're lightly applying that to the outer edge. So this is the shade that we're really going to diffuse all edges with and make a nice seamless blend. This brush is perfect because it doesn't pick up too much product, so I feel like it does all the magic for you. So as you can see, I'm just lightly dusting it over, that way it's all nice and blended and yeah, nice and seamless as such. I'm so sorry if I'm bad at like technique terminology. I feel like it doesn't help as well that it's 12 o'clock at night, so I'm just kind of like chilling, doing the voiceover for this video, but yeah. Also, when I'm not talking, I'm going to speed up the footage, that way the tutorial doesn't drag on for too long. So we're now going to go back in with the Morphe 506 brush with that In Lust shade, and we're just going to re-intensify this colour and then go back in with the Morphe 652 brush and blend it out again. So I do this process a few times, so I'll add In Lust and then blend it out with S&M, I'll keep doing that a few times just to build the intensity. Once you're happy with how the outer two colours are blended, I'm going to go back in with Love Shy and we're just going to re-intensify this colour, and I make sure I always do that. That way when we put down the cut crease, it has a nice dark outer edge and the cut crease really pops. So now time for the cut crease, and I feel like a lot of people really get worried about this, but I feel like the best tip is to start small and work your way up. So as you can see, I'm like creating my shape and it is quite small, and I'll slowly build that shape up. So for this I'm using the P. Louise and Mitchell blank canvas, and this is amazing. It's like so pigmented, and I just mix that with Inglot Duraline. I'm just using the Peaches and Cream brush in PC40. This brush was honestly a lifesaver. It's so thin and it is amazing. So if you don't have a good cut crease brush, I definitely recommend this. After I'm happy with my shape, and keep in mind guys, you want to obviously create a shape, but take a step back, look at the shape you've done and add more if you need to. You don't want to go too big too quick. So now what I'm doing is I'm buffing out that outer edge. So I really like pat in the product and wipe away the excess product. So each time you see me pulling away the brush, I'm wiping it over with a makeup wipe. So you really want to diffuse that edge. That way when we lay our eyeshadows down, there's not going to be that harsh line from the cut crease. So after we've diffused the outer edge of the cut crease, we're now going in with our eyeshadows starting from lightest to darkest. So S&M, In Lust, and then Love Shy. And we're just diffusing the edge of that cut crease, and I feel like this is just a step that you have to do, and once you apply the glitter it just all blends in so nicely, and yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see what it looks like. So once you've done that, we're just taking the NYX glitter glue and we're applying that over the cut crease. Then after that we're applying the glitter. So you can use any type of glitter. I'm using the Makeup Workshop, I forget what it's called, but I'll make sure I put it on the screen for you all. It's such a pretty like rose gold color, but yeah, I just like, you know, packing on that pigmented color in the inner corner and then kind of diffuse it as we get to the outer corner. So we're now going in with foundation. I'm using the NARS Radiant Foundation in the shade Punjab, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just using that Ronya E1 brush to apply it, and then taking a damp blend and set sponge from Melissa Sassine and really working that into your skin. That way you get a nice flawless base. As well, I like to use the Ronya E1 brush around the brows. That way you can really carve them out, because as you'll see I do them last. So yeah, I like to carve them out, that way it like saves time, because I have my brow shape already there and I just kind of have to fill them in and add more color to them. In saying that, I do have my brows tattooed by the brow queen Grace. If you're interested in ever getting your brows done, I highly recommend her. I do have 2 videos on my page. I did a vlog style video where I took you through the healing process and everything, and I also have a Q&A with her. So go give them some love if you haven't already, but I'm telling you guys, getting my brows tattooed was the best thing I ever done. I don't feel like I really need to do a disclaimer, but just in case, obviously don't get it done if you don't want to. You know, everyone's perfect the way they are, but I just feel like I was getting mine done every 2 weeks, like waxed and tinted, and with my busy lifestyle, just oh my gosh, it was amazing, and I'm so glad I ended up getting them tattooed. I wake up in the morning and I'm pretty much ready to go. Okay, enough rambling on about my brows now. After we do our foundation and we've really pressed that into our face, we're going in with concealer. So this is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade, pretty sure Natural Beige, and I don't know why I did this. I think because just for my Instagram video, just for something different, but normally I just like slap it on, but I just decided to be bougie. So I apply that under my eyes, to the center of my forehead, down my nose, and to my cupid's bow, and also my chin. So I really like to bring these areas forward and brighten them. And then I'm again using the Melissa Sassine sponge just to really buff that in. Then after I do that, I just take a smaller buffing brush and I blend out the outer edges of my eyeshadow just to give it that seamless blend, because obviously we put the P. Louise base down, so you kind of want to blend that with the foundation, and I get too scared to use the sponge as it's a bit big, so yeah, I feel like this does a perfect job in blending them together. So we're now going in with the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC15 on a Morphe 438 brush, and this is a smaller brush, and we're just taking that to all the places we applied the concealer, and then to set the rest of the face we're using the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC30 with a Morphe E3 brush. So I just like taking that lighter powder where we put the concealer, that way those areas stay nice, bright and fresh, and then the darker powder just to set the rest of the face, and it kind of gives you like that kind of sculpting effect. Now taking a Morphe E4 brush with Hoola by Benefit, so I'm using this as a bronzer, and I like to lightly apply that on my cheekbones just to carve them out, and then on my temples, and I like to be light-handed and build the intensity rather than going too dark too quick. I nearly forgot to mention I put this on the tip of my nose and applied to my jawline as well. I'm going to bake now, and I just like how this tidies up the bronzer and really sculpts your face. I'm just using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose powder in Sugar Cookie with my Melissa Sassine sponge again. So we're now going in with blush just to the apples of my cheeks. So we're using the MAC Fox Shore blush, and I'm just taking a Morphe brush. This one doesn't have a name because it came in one of the sets, but it's pretty much the same as a Morphe 451 brush. So this blush has a bit of a sheen to it, so it's really pretty. It blends in so well with your highlight, and it just adds that extra color to your face and dimension. Time for highlighter, so I'm just using Champagne Pop by Becca, and once again this brush has no name as it came in a pack, but a pretty similar one is the Morphe 218 brush, and we're just applying this to the tops of our cheekbones and just kind of to like our temples and our forehead a little bit, and down the center of our nose and our cupid's bow. So now just wiping away any of that baking powder. There's no special technique to this. I kind of just dust it away and make sure that harsh line is nice and diffused. And after that, we're just drowning myself in the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. This is the best and it smells so good. So now we're just brushing through our brows again, then going in with the Anastasia brow powder in the shade Soft Brown. So I just dip into both of them using a Pony Cosmetics brush, and we're just filling in my brows. So as I said earlier, my brows are tattooed, so the shape is already there, but I often kind of like start on the bottom of the brow and then work my way up. You can see the shape's already there, and I'm just kind of intensifying that color again. Then I take the excess product and just run that through the front of my brows. And then once these steps are done, I just take a clear translucent brow gel from Morphe. And we're just going to take a quick second to appreciate the difference a brow can make. So we're now doing the under eyes. I have pictures of the shades I'm using, that way you guys can see what shades I'm using at which time. That way it's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. I start off with like kind of like the lighter shade and then work my way to darkest. So once I finish the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with the Morphe 506 brush and the Morphe 562 brush just to tidy up the areas and make sure everything's blended together. So now for inner corner highlight, I just take the Inglot 68 gel liner just on a pencil brush and then apply highlight over that. So gel liner kind of works as a glue, that way the highlight really pops and stays in place all day. Now going in with lashes, which is definitely the icing to the cake, we're using the Glow Lash from Lust Lash Collective. They're amazing. I've reused these lashes like 1,000 times and they're my favorite style at the moment. I also just used the Duo Lash lash glue. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. And yeah, let it set for a bit and then apply them. After that, I'm just applying some highlight to my brow bone. So that does conclude our full glam pink cut crease tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and as I said earlier, hopefully the audio isn't too dreadful to listen to. I honestly love creating these makeup looks for you guys, so be sure to let me know what makeup looks you'd like to see next in the comments. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It means the most, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!